If you're a short-term rental host or a vacation rental guest, then you understand that first impressions are everything. Technically, it's your listing photos that first catch the eye of your potential guest, stopping their scroll for a closer look. But then it happens again on check-in day when, let's be honest, guests are probably more than a little nervous about the place they booked sight unseen for hundreds or sometimes thousands of dollars. Our goal as hosts is for our guests to walk in and breathe a big sigh of relief followed by a big smile. But how do we make sure that happens every time? Let us introduce you to the perfection inspection. Trademark pending.
What's up, everyone? I'm Steven, and thanks for tuning in to another episode on our channel.
Yeah, I'm Kylie, and Steven and I are vacation rental hosts and property managers. We are experts in the vacation rental industry, and our management portfolio earned over $2 million in revenue last year.
Yeah, and we attribute a big part of that success to what we call the perfection inspection. Our habit of routinely inspecting a house before every guest arrival goes back to the days when we just had the single duplex property in Mission Beach near San Diego. We were cleaning that house, at least initially, ourselves.
Yeah, so we were doing the cleanings ourselves, and sometimes one of us did the cleaning, sometimes both of us did it, but either way, we were always checking our work or checking each other's work when we were finished to make sure that we didn't miss anything. And that was kind of the early version of our perfection inspection.
Once our property management portfolio continued to grow, we continued this inspection routine as a way to ensure every guest arrival was a 5-star experience. And so now we have more than 30 properties, and we still do some of the inspections ourselves, and we have a small team of other people who help us and make sure everything is set perfectly.
It's really just a method of quality control. So today we're here at one of our managed properties. This property is called Casa Ultimo. It was one of our first, actually it was our first managed property out here in La Quinta. And the property was cleaned yesterday, but whenever possible, we like to save the inspection for the day of the guest arrival.
One thing to remember is this is a perfection inspection, not a maintenance inspection. You might find things during the perfection inspection that you're going to take note of that need maintenance. It's a quick fix, you could just do it, but it's also good to just regularly have a detailed sort of maintenance inspection and safety inspection look at your house.
So let's go get started. Okay, so first up is the kitchen. I'm going to be opening every cabinet to check inventory, and you'll notice that we label every cabinet so we know exactly what's supposed to be there, and we can easily tell if like the toaster's not in the toaster spot, then usually it just got put back in a different place. If we can't find it, then we know that we need to replace it. I also like to go and make sure everything looks really organized, so I'll go through and straighten out what needs to be there because you're kind of inadvertently doing an inventory count as well. So you'll notice if you're getting a little bit low on things like mugs or plates or what have you, then you can replace them. We also like to check the fridge and freezer to make sure that they've been nicely cleaned and there's no food left behind. We dispose of all perishables, or sometimes the cleaners take them if they're unopened and they want them. And freezer, same thing. There's a couple popsicles in here. I'm gonna leave those because it's hot and people might like them. Next, we always check the dishwasher to make sure that the cleaners have unloaded everything and put it away. One thing to note, a lot of dishwashers have that little top rack, and sometimes the cleaners will forget to unload that one. We had an instance at a property where a guest had put almost all of the kitchen knives in there, and we thought that they had been either stolen or broken and they threw them out, and we went out and bought a whole new knife set, and then the next time we went and did our turnover inspection, we found them up there. So that's a good spot to make sure you're checking. We also just like to do a general spot check of the whole kitchen. So just making sure that everything looks clean and tidy. There aren't little crumbs that got missed. The sink's wiped down and there's nothing in the drain catch. Don't forget to check the inside of your oven and the inside of your microwave. And then we also just do a general restocking. So we make sure that there's trash bags and a fresh wrapped sponge. All the containers are refilled to the top. Paper towels. We have a whole video on what supplies that we like to leave for our guests, so you can check that out if you want more detail. One thing I forgot to mention is always check the Keurig for a left behind pod, or if you have a drip coffee maker, make sure that there's not a dirty filter in there. There is this phenomenon where if a guest finds something, a lot of times they're just going to start looking for more problems. And next thing you know, you're getting rapid fire pictures of like super zoomed in smudges or whatever. The whole reason for the perfection inspection is just to make sure that you're not giving the guest any ammo or any reason to go looking for other issues.
Now that we've covered the kitchen, let's move on to the bathrooms. So you really got to inspect these bathrooms, like everything. Look at the whole vanity, make sure there's no smudges, hairs, mirrors are clean, medicine cabinet is empty. We always check what the toilet paper situation is. We have a hair dryer in every bathroom. Make sure that's here. They have a tendency sometimes to go missing. We check the towel counts. We have bath towels, hand towels, washcloths, and also makeup washcloths. We set those numbers based on the number of guests in the house. This all looks good. Moving on to the shower, look for hairs anywhere. Look at the shampoo, conditioner, body wash bottles. In all of our properties, these are bottles that we provide and they're refillable. So we just make sure they're full, make sure they're clean, not a bunch of gunk on the nozzle, things like that. You always notice things. This would be something to go on the maintenance list. Some scuffed paint here. We'll put that on the list for touch-up paint. The toilet, lift the lid, lift the seat, make sure everything looks clean. Make sure the seat's not loose. You might need to tighten that. Otherwise, look around the floor and the base where the toilet's mounted to the floor. It's an often missed area. Just make sure everything down there is tidy and clean. Next, we'll go take a look at a bedroom.
Okay, so here in the bedrooms, we are once again looking for just general cleanliness, making sure the floors are clean, that there's no, stains on the bed. We always check the pillows to make sure that there's no stray hairs. General inventory, we make sure that our white noise machines are still here, that our charging ports are still here, and we also look inside of the drawers to make sure nothing was left behind, like the bullets that we found one time. We also look under the bed and in the closets, make sure nothing was left behind, tidying the hangers. Another thing that we always check is the light. We turn on each of the lights and the ceiling fan and make sure that everything's working, make sure there aren't any remotes that need batteries changed. Oh, and speaking of remotes, if there's a TV in the room, we're always checking to make sure that the TVs are logged into the correct accounts and that they're turning on and connected to the Wi-Fi if they're smart TVs.
So next thing, we check the laundry area. In this property, the laundry room is in the kitchen. Other houses have it, dedicated space, but here we're checking for detergent and softener. So we keep those up here. Good amount in both. Some we carry around or keep in the supply closet of the house if we need more. Here's the machines. We just check nothing is left in them. We check the lint trap in the dryer, clean that out if needed, and just make sure everything's in order here.
We also like to have a look at our supply inventory, make sure that we don't need to restock anything. At this property, we have it in two places. We keep things like snacks and shampoos and soap in here, and we keep spare linens and towels in the garage. We keep the snacks inside because we live in a desert and it's very hot, and a lot of the things would melt.
All right, so we always spend a good amount of time in the outdoor spaces out here in the deserts where most people hang out. Pretty much every time someone has rearranged the patio furniture, so we have to put that back to where it's supposed to be. We look at the grill, make sure that's clean. We always roll with a leaf blower. We'll just blow dust and leaves off the patio area. We check the pool, make sure it's not green, looking clean. We'll skim it with a net if there's any leaves around, and yeah, just make it look nice and presentable for the guests.
So that's a general overview of things we look for when we're inspecting Casa Ultima. All homes are unique with different features and amenities, so you will likely need to adapt this to fit your needs, but hopefully this gives you a good base to build on so that you can develop a process for making sure your short-term rental property is always consistently and carefully prepared for your guests. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.